Who's your favorite fighter? Do you have a favorite fighter?
I mean, you were one of my favorite fighters, honestly. Even you were one of my favorite fighters. I was always even when you fought John Jones, I was behind you, man. I was completely behind you. Even though the fight made no sense, I was like, I was still behind you. But guys like Frankie Edgar, especially sometimes when you get some of these guys who I like, who don't get the credit that I feel like they deserve to get. But still, I'll get behind him. But for a guy like Frankie Edgar, who just I feel like is like the complete package, it's like he's got the boxing, the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, humble. Every single time he goes out there, it's going to be a war or a fight, or he's going to win. Frankie doesn't lose very much. So I would say Edgar's my favorite.
Yeah, Edgar is also mine. Is he going to beat Aldo? They fought before. So many of us have forgot that happened. They fought before, and Aldo beat him. How's Aldo going to be?
Such a weird fight because, like that 9-second knockout that Aldo got, it's just I don't know whether or not that he can come back from it. I don't know if that was just a fluke. I think people are counting Aldo out because of that. You got to factor in that McGregor must have walked into that fight at, 175? Do you think?
Yeah, probably. Maybe not that high, but I get your point. 168, yeah.
Just a big guy, a really big guy that should not even have been at 145 or made it, but barely, and it was just got caught with that one punch that's never happened before. We're talking about a guy who, before that, didn't lose for 7 years. It's going to be a close fight. I don't know, because I don't think Frankie hits as hard as Conor McGregor. So I don't think he could stop him like that. I think it would take him a long time to stop him, 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think so, too. And Aldo is underrated. As high as Aldo's rated, as much allure and people respect, it's still underrated. I mean, Aldo's amazing. You talked about him being undefeated for 7 years, WEC champion, UFC champion. I think it was even 10 years, Adam, to that point. And the only thing that derailed him is he took one shot from a great big guy, and it landed right on the mark. I mean, that's what happened. But it's really hard to count Aldo out.
But since USADA, it seems like almost every Brazilian has been falling down or not looking the same.
And that gym specifically, Novo Vunião, or however you say it, that gym specifically was hurt by USADA. Yeah, USADA took more championships out of that gym, and they're not getting them back.
So that's the thing. It's like, Barao has not looked good since those, since USADA. Remember how good everyone was saying Barao was? So are they taking stuff? Were they taking stuff? And, it's almost like they should have. It's just crazy. But I really want Edgar to win. I'm Hendricks versus Gastelum, another fight on that card that I'm like, Johnny Hendricks. Have you ever seen him look worse against Wonder Boy?
That was shocking. That was almost like Johnny didn't go out there. And you'll have nights like that, but yeah, that was Johnny's. I couldn't believe it.
And then he came in, but he also weighed in at he looked way too ripped. He came in at 170 like a week before. There's this guy Lutrition, who's a real nice guy and he's a good trainer, but I think Johnny just came in, the weight cut just killed him. He did not it's almost like it's weird, but you know how there are certain wrestlers that they just come in and they do terrible weight cuts, but it works out for them. Like they barely make the weight, but then they put on 30 pounds overnight, but it somehow works for them.
Right.
I feel like Johnny was kind of that guy, and this strict weight cut was just by the books, not good for him in some way.